Start with Nick Farrell.
Coach, how are you? Hope everything's going well.
Great. We're excited to obviously participate in this College Cup.
So you guys have been terrific this spring. I guess I'm wondering if you feel that your team is playing its best soccer of the year as you enter the tournament.
It's, you know, as I've talked about this team being young, you know, especially last year, and the more
Hey, Coach, we lost you. Can you unmute for us?
All right. All right, make sure. I'm going to keep this cursor here. Yes. So I think that us being still a little bit young heavy, that the more opportunity and the more time we have had together has been so beneficial. Losing last spring, having all fall, and, you know, kind of getting these days in the spring have been so vital to our development. And I'm going to attribute everything to this team because they have been so locked in and so focused to our success.
Kevin Kinder is next.
It's just been an hour and a half or so since you saw the bracket, got the things. Any early thoughts on, you know, either of the two teams you might face in the first round and what the bracket looks like for you beyond that?
Yeah, I mean, we're not going to take Rice or Furman lightly. Rice took Texas A&M into overtime. You know, so you're looking at a Power 5 there, and so Furman goes out every year. You know, they obviously played against Clemson also. So both teams, I think they have 8 and 12 wins, and winning isn't easy. I don't care who you play in what conference. So we're not taking either team lightly. You know, I think that it's exciting that it's a different opponent that potentially we've ever faced, but, you know, we're not going to take either team lightly.
Let's go to Joe Mercado.
Hey, good afternoon, Coach. Obviously, this is a very unique tournament in the sense that everything is single site, and you hope you have a very, very long trip down to North Carolina. But how do you prepare for that? You know, how far in advance do you prepare for all the potential scenarios that could play out if you guys are there for a full 2.5 weeks?
Well, I'm bringing the biggest bag I could possibly pack. I am going to be prepared. I don't want to jinx us. You know, it's really going to be interesting. And I think we're going to just approach it that, you know, we're going to pack as much as we can and in hopes that we keep advancing, but it is very unique situation. And, you know, we're thankful that the NCAA has allowed us this tournament. But with that all being said, the goal of this team is to survive in advance. So we're going to pack our bags for that.
Back to you, Nick.
Yeah, similar question there, Coach. The NCAA tournament, you guys have had 21 consecutive berths now. What is the key to a successful run, or the keys to a successful run in the postseason?
It's a team that's driven internally. I really believe that that is going to be something that I will continue to talk to the team about. And I've told them, you know, I will motivate the Lions, but ideally the Lion has to be motivated and they have to do the work and keep working their talent. And that I think is always important. Coaches will always talk about leadership, and, you know, that's the key component going into the NCAA tournament. You know, the girls know that I'm experienced. I have an incredibly experienced staff, but ultimately it's going to boil down to their mindset.
So a quick follow-up, though, Coach, on that note. If there was ever a year where self-motivation is paramount, it has to be this year, right?
Yeah, for sure. It is. I really believe that for us personally, losing, not being able to participate, and maybe this will come up, not being able to participate in a Big 12 championship and then losing the regular season to TCU has definitely put some fire in this team's bellies to get to this tournament, but also understand the importance of why we do what we do, and that's to win championships.
Go ahead, Kevin.
It's obviously been a theme all year about how different this is. But now with the tournament, other than the fact that there's no home games for anybody, do you kind of get into the same preparation, pre-tournament preparation mindset approach that you've had in all your other past years?
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good question. I mean, every team is different. I'm all about routine though. The girls will tell you, I'll like, okay, let's get in our routine. So I do believe that depending on how this plays out with testing and protocol and all that kind of stuff, you know, we definitely will approach it very similar, even with these spring games, that every game counts and every game matters. And even when we played the pro team and it didn't necessarily show up on our record, it was really important that we approached it the same way we approach every game, same type of similar setup going into postseason play.
Carly Nevis.
Hey, Coach, you kind of alluded to it, but you entered the spring season not knowing if you would be in the NCAA tournament field, and by the first few weeks, you kind of knew you would and just didn't know where you would be seated. How much has the team grown in this whole, been together for so many days now, how much have they grown since you first got them back after COVID?
Well, they've grown to love me more. So I just want everyone to make sure you write that and put that on every video, that the team adores me. With all honesty, though, it's you know, I was nervous going into the spring season because you guys, I'm all about routine, and it was very uncharted territory for me to come up with a spring schedule that would play us into this NCAA tournament, but obviously not play us out. So the success we had this spring, again, was this team just working and understanding that this could play the way it did and really play us into a good seed going into this tournament. So the focus and us coming together as a team has been the time spent, but also the understanding that, you know, you can walk out on the field and lose a game. And you never saw that with this team. You know, they fought for 90 minutes of every game.
Back to you, Joe.
Coach, when we talked to you in the fall, you knew that you had your 9 Big 12 matches set up and there wasn't a whole lot of certainty beyond that. Was there points where you doubted if an NCAA tournament would be happening at all?
Oh, for sure. I mean, there is no question. And, you know, and I you know, with athletics, you want everything to be fair. And I wanted to make sure that the teams that lost, you know, those tournaments, I would understand, you know, that we didn't have one in baseball and softball and some of these lacrosse programs and whoever else missed out would get their chance. So I kind of thought the pecking order would happen. So I prepared myself for that disappointment because, you know, we want all our kids to experience championships, but again, you know, you want what's good for the kids that didn't get there. But with that being said, this vaccination, what the doctors have been doing and how people have been behind it has all helped where we are right now.
Okay, back to Carly.
Coach Nick asked you earlier what it takes to be successful in the NCAA tournament, but what does it take to make 21 consecutive NCAA tournament just to get there? It's never about one person, right? So you put together the best staff. I feel that you have the right people that do their jobs at the highest level, at a professional level. And my staff has just been incredible this year, making sure that in all aspects, in our pillars, that they're taking care of that. And then at the end of the day, you know, it's girls that came here
to continue the success. They came here to win championships. They came here to get to the 21st. They don't want to be that team that doesn't make it, right? So it's really important that I have very competitive players, and this is a team that was very disappointed in the last game, but it's not necessarily, harping on a fail. It's how do you learn from the loss? So I've been really proud of the way the teams responded. And it's really funny because we were playing in our first NCAA tournament and probably 80% of the team wasn't born yet.
Anything else for Coach today? Kevin, I see you. Go ahead.
I guess the one difference, Coach, is the gap between your last game and when you're going to play in the tournament a little bit longer. So your fitness and, what's the healthier team, and how do you try to, I guess, ease into this and then build up to it so you're ready to go on May 1st, I think it is.
Kevin, I have played such mind games with myself over the years. No, I'm being serious. Like if we lose in the Big 12 tournament, like, oh, this is the best thing for us. We're getting our rest. We're going to be great. And then when we continue and win the tournament, I'm like, we got great rhythm. We're ready. So I am probably going to answer it both. We're going to be fine. I have no idea, but no, listen, I'm writing the narrative. I'm saying the same thing to the team. Hey guys, we got to have intensity at training. We got to put ourselves in a position where we continue to can go 90 plus minutes. It is complicated when you play each other, but now they know what's at stake. So I think they're up for the challenge.